Before we begin, welcome back to the channel. If you are passionate about lost civilizations, Peloponnesians and the stories that shaped our world, make sure you subscribe and join us on this journey through time. Every empire leaves echoes behind, and today we follow one of the most powerful echoes in human history. Now close your eyes for a moment and imagine a land of rugged mountains, scattered islands, and endless blue seas. Imagine city-states rising from stone and marble, warriors training from childhood, philosophers questioning the nature of existence, and armies marching beneath bronze shields that shimmer under the Mediterranean sun. This is the story of the Greek world, its birth, its glory, its endless wars, and its fall. Long before there was a unified empire, there was a fragmented land. Around the 8th century BCE, the Greek world was divided into independent city-states known as poleis. Each city-state had its own government, army, culture, and identity. Among them, Athens emerged as a center of art, philosophy, and political experimentation. Sparta, on the other hand, became a society built entirely around military discipline. From childhood, Spartan boys were taken from their families and trained in a brutal system designed to produce fearless warriors. Meanwhile, Athens developed early forms of democracy, allowing male citizens to participate in discipline. These two cities represented two very different visions of power, one built on thought and debate, the other on strength and obedience. But while the Greeks argued among themselves, a massive empire was expanding in the east. The Persian Empire, stretching from India to Egypt, became the greatest superpower of its time. In 490 BCE, King Darius I decided to punish Athens for supporting a revolt in Asia Minor. Persian forces landed near Marathon. The Athenians, outnumbered and facing one of the largest armies in the world, chose to attack first. Against all odds, the Greeks defeated the Persians in a stunning victory that shocked the ancient world. It was more than a battle. It was proof that a small, united force could defeat an empire. 10 years later, Darius' son, Xerxes I, returned with a vengeance. His invasion force was enormous, possibly numbering in the hundreds of thousands. Bridges were built across the Hellespont. Entire nations marched under Persian banners. The Greek city-states, realizing the scale of the threat, formed an alliance. At Thermopylae, King Leonidas of Sparta and his 300 elite warriors held a narrow mountain pass against overwhelming numbers. For 3 days, they resisted. When betrayal revealed a hidden path, Leonidas dismissed most of the Greek army and stayed behind with his men to fight to the death. Their sacrifice became legend. Soon after, the Greek navy lured the Persian fleet into the narrow straits of Salamis and destroyed it. Without naval support, the Persian invasion collapsed. Greece had survived, but survival did not bring peace. Victory against Persia created confidence, ambition, and rivalry. Athens formed the Delian League, an alliance meant to defend against future invasions. Over time, this alliance became an Athenian empire. Tribute was collected, rebellions were crushed. Sparta watched with suspicion. In 431 BCE, tension exploded into the Peloponnesian War. For 27 years, the Greek world tore itself apart. Athens relied on naval power and fortified walls. Sparta relied on land dominance and alliances. Early in the war, a devastating plague struck Athens, killing thousands, including the leader. Morale collapsed. Battles raged across land and sea. Cities switched sides. Resources were drained. Finally, in 404 BCE, Sparta emerged victorious. Athens surrendered. Its walls were destroyed. Democracy was temporarily overthrown, yet Sparta's dominance did not last. Thebes rose briefly. Alliances shifted constantly. Greece became politically unstable. And in the north, in the kingdom of Macedon, a new force was rising under King Philip II. Philip reformed his army, introducing the Macedonian phalanx, armed with long spears called sur. He united much of Greece under his control. In 336 BCE, Philip was assassinated, and his son Alexander took the throne. He was only 20 years old. Many believed he would fail. They were wrong. Alexander moved with astonishing speed. First, he crushed rebellions in Greece. Then he crossed into Asia Minor to confront Persia. At the Battle of Issus, he defeated King Darius III. At Gaugamela in 331 BCE, he achieved one of the most decisive victories in military history. Despite being heavily outnumbered, Alexander used brilliant tactics to break the Persian lines and force Darius to flee. The Persian Empire collapsed. Babylon Susa and Persepolis fell. Alexander declared himself king of Asia, but he did not stop. He marched into Egypt, where he was welcomed as a liberator and founded the city of Alexandria. He pushed east into Central Asia and even into India. His army endured extreme heat, unfamiliar terrain, and constant warfare. After years of campaigning, his exhausted troops refused to march further. Reluctantly, Alexander turned back. In 323 BCE, in Babylon, at the height of his power, Alexander fell ill and died at just 32 years old. Some say fever, some say poisoning. The truth remains uncertain. Without a clear heir capable of ruling such a vast territory, his generals divided the empire. The Ptolemaic kingdom took Egypt. The Seleucid Empire controlled much of Asia. Macedon retained Greece. The unity Alexander had forged shattered into competing states. They fought among themselves in a series of conflicts known as the Wars of the Meanwhile, a new republic in the West was expanding Rome. Over the next century, Rome intervened in Greek affairs, often presenting itself as a liberator, but Roman involvement gradually turned into domination. In 146 BCE, after crushing the Achaean League, Rome destroyed Corinth and officially absorbed Greece. Later, in 30 BCE, Egypt fell to Rome after the defeat of Cleopatra and Mark Antony. The last major Hellenistic kingdom was gone. The political independence of the Greek world ended. Yet Greece did not truly fall. Greek culture, philosophy, science, and art deeply influenced Rome. Roman elites studied Greek thinkers like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. Greek architecture shaped Roman buildings. Greek mythology blended into Roman religion. Even after conquest, the Greek language remained dominant in the Eastern Mediterranean. Eventually, the Eastern Roman Empire would be known as the Byzantine Empire, deeply rooted in Greek tradition. The story of the Greek Empire is not just a story of battles and kings. It is the story of ideas. Democracy was tested. Philosophy was born. Theater, mathematics, and political theory evolved. The Greeks fought each other relentlessly, yet their intellectual achievements outlived every war they waged. Empires rise with ambition and fall with division. Greece was no exception. Internal rivalries weakened it, ambition overextended it, and a stronger power absorbed it. But the ideas born in its city-states became immortal. Today, when we speak about democracy, when we study philosophy, when we admire classical architecture, we are witnessing the echoes of that ancient world. Stone ruins remain, myths remain, lessons remain. The empire may have fallen, but its influence never truly disappeared. And in the grand theater of history, Greece stands as proof that sometimes the greatest legacy of an empire is not the land it conquers, but the ideas it leaves behind. If you enjoyed this journey through the rise and fall of the Greek world, make sure you subscribe and join us for the next chapter in our exploration of history's greatest empires, because somewhere in the ruins of the past, another story is waiting to be told.